Hey everybody, just doing a review for this Bluetti AC70 power station. And so, at the time of filming this review, this is Bluetti's new AC70 power station. This is a upgraded version of the EB70S. And so just taking a look at what's in the box with the power station, you do get a MC4 to XD60 solar charging cable, an XD60 car charging cable right over here. You actually do get a grounding screw because these AC outlets on the power station are able to be grounded, which is pretty cool. This is becoming common with a lot of other Bluetti power stations. I haven't seen this type of feature with other brand power stations. I don't know what mechanism they have or don't have to ground AC outlets, but this is pretty cool to see. And of course, you get the AC charging cable, and that's really about it. This power station does have a 768 watt-hour capacity, and of course, it does use lithium iron phosphate batteries, so you're going to be looking at about 3,000 charge cycles to 80% or more battery capacity efficiency. And it does have a 1,000 watt max output from the AC outlets. I think that can actually be upgraded to 2,000 watts using power lifting mode that you can find on the Bluetti app. I'm going to be running through their app in just a second as well, but let me just do a quick look over at the power station itself. And also the 768 watt hour battery can be upgraded in a way because Bluetti does sell a dedicated battery expansion type of batteries that can expand existing power station batteries. But of course, you have to purchase those separately. There's the B80 battery that was really compatible with the AC60 power station, also from Bluetti. This power station does not have a battery expansion slot. However, you can use those other types of expandable batteries and connect it, I think, into this DC input port. But yeah, anyways, I'm just taking a look at the front of the power station. It does have, like I said, like I just mentioned, this XD60 input port. One of the most amazing things about this power station is that it has a 500 watt solar recharging speed. That is impressive for a 768 watt hour power station. That is a very fast recharge rate. However, you have to make sure that you're using powerful enough solar panels to actually reach that 500 watt solar recharge rate, which can get a bit expensive. I will be doing a solar recharge test in a separate video. I think the brand Calfa Solar is going to be sending me a few solar panels my way, and I'm going to be testing those solar panels out to recharge this Bluetti AC70 power station. So just stay tuned for that. But yeah, a very impressive solar recharge speed. DC output, just your run-of-the-mill car socket outlet that has a 120 watt output. Right over here in the middle, it does have the very large and easy to read screen. This is even bigger and easier to read than other Bluetti power stations that have upgraded their screens. Very big and bright. You can actually see the, oh wow, I didn't actually notice this, but you can actually see the individual DC output and AC output separately. That wasn't the case before, I think. I think they just had a input and output, and that was it. But in this case, you can actually see the DC input, AC input separately, and the DC output and the AC output separately. It's pretty cool. In the middle, you get the battery capacity percentage, estimated runtime at the bottom. Eco mode is activated, and you also have the Bluetooth icon to show that the power station is connected to the app. Right over here, you can just press that to turn on the DC ports, which includes this car socket outlet and the charging ports. The charging ports are pretty impressive. You do get two 100 watt Type C power delivery ports, and you do get two Type A 12 watt ports. So that's pretty awesome to see. Would have liked if these two Type A ports featured 18 watts rather than 12 watts, or maybe they could have just made these Type A ports Type C ports and have them output 18 watts each, because at this point these are kind of becoming legacy ports, but a lot of people still use Type A ports, so it's really no problem. Right over here, the AC button turns on the AC outlets. As you just heard, the inverter did just turn on. It does have a 1,000 watt max output, pure sine wave. Of course, that is the standard. Over at the top, surprisingly, there is no wireless charging pad. A lot of Bluetti power stations are known to have wireless charging pads, but it looks like this one, they decided not to include a charging pad. No big deal, to be honest. A lot of people don't use wireless charging in the first place. Yes, I know if you do, I'm sorry, but for most people, they simply don't use wireless charging. It's just too slow, and it's not really that convenient because you can't exactly use your phone while wirelessly charging it. But yeah, anyways, wireless charging is missing. Not a big deal. Just taking a look over at the right side. Okay. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that the handle is right over here. It has that type of EcoFlow handle on River 2 power stations, I think. A bit not really awkward. I actually prefer this type of handle. It is a fixed handle, not a foldable handle. But yeah, it's like, right over here on the side, on the corner. Pretty unique design. Okay. Okay, so over here on the right side, you do get the AC input port, and this is where we're going to be, using the included AC charging cable. The power station does have a max 850 watt AC recharge speed, so yeah, that's gonna be really fast, and then I think you're actually able to recharge the power station within nearly 1 hour from 0 to 100. But that's only at the turbo recharge speed, because I think there's like the silent, standard, and turbo AC recharge rates that you can actually select via the Bluetti app. This is the grounding lug that you can actually use to plug in to screw in the grounding screw. And of course, right over here is the vent for the internal fans. Okay, over the back, there is nothing at the back other than the handle, and that's about it. Over on the left side, once again, vents for the internal fan, and that's really about it. When it comes to the power station, not really much else to say. Let me just run through the app with you guys to show you, what's included with the Bluetti app when it pertains to using the AC70 power station. Right over here, this is the main screen that you're going to be accessing the power station with. You just got to make sure that you have Bluetooth on and you have the power station on, so you can actually connect with the power station to the app. Yeah, so it just shows you the battery percentage in the middle. It shows you the output wattage for the DC and AC sections, and also shows you the input wattage of the AC input or the solar input. You can actually remotely turn on and off the certain sections of the power station. If you see my other Bluetti power station reviews, this is nothing surprising. I'm basically repeating information because a lot of these power stations are very similar. Of course, when it comes to the same brand ones, of course they're going to be similar. Yeah, right over here, you can actually access the user manual. Okay, and so carbon emission factor, I'm honestly not too sure what this is. I'll probably take a look at that later. Reduced carbon emission equals PV generation carbon emission coefficient. Yeah, I'm not too sure what that means, but okay. We're just gonna ignore that for now. Homepage display. I think if you want the power station to be displayed on the homepage of the Bluetti app, I think that's what it means. Just taking a look back. Yeah, so there it is. I think that's what it means when it says homepage display. That's pretty cool. Okay, charging mode. This can adjust the AC recharge speed. So yeah, as I mentioned before, standard, turbo, silent. I'm going to be running through these in just a second as well. Powerlifting mode. It activates, the AC outlets to go from 1,000 watts all the way to 2,000 watts. However, just a heads up, when you do use powerlifting mode, the appliance that you have plugged into the AC outlets may not perform optimally because it's basically lowering voltage and increasing amperage to make the appliance that you're powering think that's receiving enough power when it's really not. But it can be convenient to use. I think they recommend, it's almost always recommended that you don't use it with like devices such as refrigerators so they don't get damaged. So just heads up on that as well. Eco mode right over here. So yeah, this is mainly just for automatic shutdown if the wattage output is under a certain threshold. So as you can see, the AC section will automatically shut down if the output is lower than 10 watts after 4 hours. And same thing for the DC section right over here with 5 watts and 4 hours. And auto sleep 1 minute. Oh, I think this is talking about the screen. Press never, and the screen is just going to stay on forever. I prefer this way. I think I'm just going to leave it this way. Firmware upgrade, advanced settings. Let's see what advanced settings is. Yeah, advanced settings is where you can actually adjust the output frequency of the AC outlets. Grid self-adaptation. Grid self-adaptation, the system can charge normally even when the voltage on the electrical grid is unstable due to voltage spikes, drops, or other instabilities. Okay, yeah, they got that going on right there. And yeah, that's really about it when it comes to using the Bluetti app with the AC70 power station. All right, you guys, so I did finish up the DC capacity test for the AC70 power station. And so, I ran this load tester via the cigarette lighter socket right over here. And it ran at about a 120 watt power load. And I ended up with a 638 watt hour capacity. And that gave me about a 83% battery capacity efficiency. That's okay. Yeah, that's good, I'd say. It's not exactly excellent, but it's good. I ran the test for about 5 hours and 24 minutes, as you can see right over here on the load tester. All right, you guys, so I did finish up the AC capacity test for the AC70 power station. Once again, I was powering a heater on its low setting, which was pulling about 800 watts continuously until the power station was depleted down to 0%. And so I ended up with a 650 watt hour capacity, and that gave me about a 84 AC capacity efficiency. As you can see right over here on the watt meter, it basically says the same thing. And so yeah, this AC capacity efficiency is good, not excellent, but it's good. It's on par with what you'll see with most power stations in general. I was just checking to see if it was going to be, in either a good, bad, or excellent range, and it landed in the good range. All right, guys, so just back with the AC70 power station, I'm just going to do some AC outlet testing. I do have my Lasco heater right over here. I'm going to turn it on, set it to its low setting first to see if I can actually use it on its low setting, which I should be able to do. It's not, I'm not, because I already ran the AC capacity test, and this is exactly what I ran the heater on when I was doing so. And yeah, there we go. Looks like it's able to handle the low setting for the heater with no problems. And so with powerlifting mode off, the power station should automatically shut down when I set the heater to high, because I think it's going to go up to about 1300 watts. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Powerlifting mode is off right now. We're going to go above 1000 watts in just a second. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to look to see if the power station automatically shuts down with powerlifting mode off, and it does. There we go. And now I'm gonna do the test again, but this time with powerlifting mode on. I think when this happens, you just gotta unplug everything first. Yeah, and then you gotta turn the power station off and turn it back on. I'm not too sure if turning off the power station was necessary, but I just did it anyways. Okay, turn on the AC outlet again. Powerlifting mode is going to be turned on, right? Okay, my bad. Yeah, because I just turned off the power station, it lost connection with the app. But yeah, anyways, we're back in business. Powerlifting mode is now on, and now I'm going to turn on the heater once again to its high setting. And this time, I should be able to run the heater on its high setting continuously with no problems. I hope so. And yeah, it looks like it. And the reason why the output wattage is staying at about 1030 watts is because, once again, the powerlifting mode is kind of a trick that the power station uses in order to power appliances, by lowering voltage and increasing amperage. And so that's exactly what's happening. So this heater, even though it's running pretty well on its high setting, I don't think it's running at its optimal level, but still it's running better than it is on low, so that's good to see. All right, guys, so just back with the AC70, and I do have my two Lasco heaters right over here. I'm going to set both of them to their high settings, and I do have powerlifting mode on with the power station, but once again, that may not help because technically both of these heaters are going to be using 1400 watts each. And as you can see, the output of the power station is only 900 watts. And yeah, this is probably not a good idea. This heater is barely pushing out any hot air. Same thing with the other one. I would highly recommend just using powerlifting mode with one appliance at a time. I'm pretty sure that's what they recommend as well, Bluetti themselves. All right, you guys, so just going to be testing out the UPS feature for the AC70 power station. And so right over here, I do have the power station connected with the AC charging cable, and the heater is technically being powered via the AC outlet on this power strip, not the power station itself. As you can see right over here on the screen, it does say grid, so the heater is actually being powered from the grid, not the power station. It is recharging at about 1100 watts. Recharge speed does increase when you're doing this sort of pass-through charging setup. And I do have the heater set to its low setting. Powerlifting mode does not work in tandem with the UPS feature, I believe. So just a heads up on that. At least that was my case with testing out other Bluetti power stations with the powerlifting mode on, and testing out to see if the UPS feature does work. So just a heads up on that. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to just pull out this AC charging cable to see if the heater is able to switch over from this power strip to the power station in a timely manner, which should be very quick. Hopefully there isn't an interruption at all with the heater being powered from the switch over from the power strip to the power station itself. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, anyways, that's enough of me talking. I'm just going to pull out the charging cable in 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yep. Looks like it switched over. As you can see, the grid logo is gone, and now the heater is being powered directly from the power station. All right, and now that we tested out the UPS feature, let me just go ahead and show you guys the different AC recharging modes. So right over here, I do have it set to standard, which is about 450 watts. I think it's recharging at about 440 watts right there. Silent is going to be effectively slow down the fan speed and reduce noise in case you're like sleeping and also want to recharge the power station at the same time. That's where silent mode is going to come in handy. I think the fan did just slow down just now. Recharge speed is about 270 watts right there. And of course, turbo, my favorite recharge speed, because it's able to recharge the power station at about 850 watts. Right now the screen is reading 930 watts. That is very fast. Oh, and also I just plugged in the included car charging cable that came with the AC70 power station as well. And it looks like it's recharging the unit at about 102 watts. Once again, pretty cool with this power station is that it actually divides the DC and the AC input and output. Over to the left, you have the DC input output. Over to the right, you have the AC input and output. When I started the car recharging, the AC input speed did slow down a bit. So just a heads up right there. I think there is a max input speed overall for the power station. But yeah, there we go. The car recharging is probably going to be the slowest option for recharging the power station, but it's there if you need it. And also you can use the AC input and the car recharging input at the same time. I'm not too sure why you would want to, because technically it comes out to be the same, although it would make sense to have solar recharging and AC recharging happening at the same time, because technically you can have the solar panels outside. You can slow down AC recharging down to silent mode and have most of the recharging power coming from solar panels, because once again, this power station does have a 500 watt max solar recharge rate. So you can make more use of that and still have an AC cable plugged into a wall outlet at a slower speed. So you're using less power from the grid, and therefore you have a lower electrical bill. All right, you guys, so just over here testing out the charging ports on the AC70 power station. I do have this Accenture's power bank and this LiFePO4 power bank charging from the two Type C 100 watt power delivery ports. I chose not to test out. Oh boy, what's that noise? Okay, I chose not to test out the two Type A 12 watt ports simply because they're just two standard Type A ports, and I didn't really feel the need to test them out. But yeah, right over here, the two power banks are basically charging at their max speed. This Accenture's power bank does have a max input speed of 100 watts, and this LiFePO4 power bank has a max input speed of I think 140 watts. I will be doing a dedicated review for this power bank right over here. Just need to find the time to do it. I'm going to be publishing that video. I'm going to be publishing that video pretty soon because this power bank is pretty impressive. But yeah. Anyways, as you can see, it's recharging at about 95 watts right there, and the Accenture's power bank is charging at about 93 watts. And so yeah, the charging ports work how they're supposed to. You are able to use the full 100 watts of power delivery from each of the Type C ports at the same time. There's no max output limit going on right here. Alright you guys, so that is my review of the Bluetti AC70 power station. A pretty decent power station. Nothing too over the top, I'd say, but you know, in regards to being an upgrade to the EB70S power station, this is a pretty solid one. You know, mainly that screen. That screen is really nice to look at. I think the app compatibility is also a pretty great upgrade along with the charging ports. And you know, you do get the inclusion of faster recharging, power lifting mode as well. You do have an option. You do have the option of battery expandability. If you're willing to spend the money, that is. You know, I just wish that they matched up the wattage output with the power capacity, you know, just making it a 1000 watt hour capacity if possible. But yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts about this power station down in the comments below. I will have a link to the product page down in the description, and I will also have a link to the review article over at chargerharbor.com in case you want to read a review for the AC70 as well. And I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.